The economy of pirates, golden democracy. When we think of pirates, what usually comes to mind are eye patches, bottles of rum, and rough-looking men. But what if I told you that pirates weren't just criminals chasing after gold and treasure, but that they actually created one of history's first democratic economies? In the early 1700s, these outlaws sailing the Caribbean Sea were, in fact, economic revolutionaries. They built their own economies, their own form of social insurance, and even their own version of voting rights. Today, we'll descend together into the dark and mysterious holds of pirate ships and explore how gold, law, and freedom blended together to create this wild economy. Who were the pirates? The early 1700s. European kingdoms were racing to expand their colonies. Spain, England, France, and the Netherlands were carrying silver and gold from the Americas on their ships. But out on the seas, not only imperial flags were waving, black flags were flying too. Almost all of these pirates were actually former sailors, men who had been underpaid, mistreated, and thrown out of royal navies, men who had been worked like slaves. When they were pushed out of the system, they decided to build their own. And this new system was far more just and organized than anyone would think. A ship, an economy. You can think of a pirate ship as a small floating state. Each ship had its own economic constitution, called the ship's articles. Loot and spoils were divided according to a pre-established system. Captain, 2 shares, specialists, gunners, boatswains, etc. 1.5 shares, ordinary sailors, 1 share doctors or special crew members, received extra bonuses. So yes, the captain earned more than a regular sailor, but not that much more. They weren't like a king and his slaves. Pirates worked as a team, and for the 1700s, that was a remarkable thing, because on land, no worker could ever come close to his master's wealth, no matter how long he worked. On a pirate ship, everyone had a share and a value, and most importantly, if a pirate lost an arm, a leg, or got injured in battle, he received compensation. Yes, you heard that right. Pirates had a social security system. A lost arm was worth 600 silver coins, a lost leg, 800. This is considered one of history's first examples of work injury compensation. Democracy on board. Do you know how decisions were made on pirate ships? By voting. Every crew member had 1 vote. The captain could only give orders during battle. In peacetime, his vote counted no more than anyone else's. If the crew thought the captain was unfair, they could remove him and elect a new one. That's why pirate captains were usually charismatic and fair. If they weren't, they could wake up one morning to find out they were no longer captain. Some historians even describe this system as a floating democracy. From a distance, a pirate ship was basically a small republic. Pirates may look chaotic, but their rules were clear and strict. Here are a few real articles found on pirate ships. Fighting on board was forbidden. Any dispute had to be settled by duel in front of the captain. Women and children were not allowed on the ship. Any pirate caught stealing lost his entire share. No one, not even the captain, could secretly drink rum and neglect his duty. So pirates were often more disciplined than the merchant ships of their time. The difference was this: their laws weren't made by kings, they were made by themselves. That's why everyone followed them willingly. How gold was managed. When loot was taken, the gold, silver, and tobacco were carefully counted and recorded in a ledger. Pirates didn't just make money by stealing, they also invested. Some pirates made protection deals with port authorities, for example, paying bribes to store their ships safely in certain harbors. In some islands, pirates even minted their own coins and traded with precious metals. And yes, some pirates built entire trade networks. Blackbeard wasn't just a terrifying and ruthless captain. He was also a kind of capital manager. He made huge profits from rum and tobacco trading. In today's words, the entrepreneur of the seas. Pirate women in society. Another surprising part of the pirate economy was female pirates. Figures like Bonny and Mary Read earned the same shares and enjoyed the same rights as men. There was no gender discrimination. Your value was based solely on your skill. For the 18th century, that was an incredible level of equality. What mattered to pirates wasn't nobility, but contribution to the ship and crew. Anyone who helped find a treasure had a say in the ship's fate. The end of the pirate economy. This system didn't last long. To the great powers, pirates had become a threat. Their spirit of freedom challenged monarchies themselves. Imagine it, a ship full of ordinary men, writing their own laws and earning their own money. For kings, that was a terrifying idea. By the mid-18th century, England and France began hunting pirates down. Hundreds of ships were burned, pirates were executed, and treasure maps were lost. But the idea never disappeared. Even today, the pirates left us certain legacies. The equal share principle forms the basis of modern partnership systems. Injury compensation, the ancestor of social insurance. Voting rights, an early practice of democracy. Maybe pirates weren't the villains history made them out to be. Maybe they were the first working-class heroes who stood up against injustice. So next time you hear the word pirate, don't just think of sword-swinging outlaws and plundered ships. Remember the sea laborers who fought for justice, equality, and freedom. And think about this. Maybe history wanted to make pirates look bad, because pirates built their own economy, one that didn't belong to kings. Do you think a system as fair as that of a pirate ship could exist today? Write in the comments. Let's discuss.